Welcome to Austin Public Schools' Celebration of Poetry. My name is Edwina Harder, and I'm the Gifted and Talented Coordinator for Austin Public Schools. I will be your host. Austin, Minnesota was the hometown of Poet Laureate and Pulitzer Prize winner Richard Eberhart. 15 years ago, the family of Richard Eberhart partnered with the Austin Public Education Foundation to create an endowment that would support and promote the importance and influence of poetry. Each winter, students from Austin Public Schools can choose to enter the Eberhart Poetry Contest. Students submit an original poem that is judged by a committee. This year, 146 students entered their original works of poetry. We're going to hear the poems of the 21 finalists. The finalists were also given the opportunity to identify someone who has influenced their writing. The tribute they wrote to this influential person will also be read. After all the poems have been read, prizes will be explained, and the winner from each school will be announced. Our first poet is Claire Green. Claire is in kindergarten and attends the Woodson Kindergarten Center. She identified her sister Aubrey as her inspiration. She likes it when Aubrey reads her poems to her. They make her laugh sometimes, and she likes to read and write with her.
My poem is called Snowman. Make flea balls, don't let them fall. Stick on carrot nose, black eyes, snow toes.
Our next poet is from Banfield Elementary. Casey Bruggeman is a fourth grader who says that his teacher, Mrs. Owens, is his inspiration. She pushes him to meet his goals. Mrs. Owens has taught him so many things this year. He has really enjoyed fourth grade.
My name is Casey James Bruggeman. I go to Banfield Elementary. I'm in fourth grade. I was selected for the poetry contest, and I'm one of the finalists. The person who inspired me for the poetry to do my poem was Mrs. Owens, my teacher, because she always pushes me to my goals. Here's my poem. 2021 year. Although it's not fun, I'm getting work done. With all these masks, I have so many tasks. Such long days, no parties or hoorays. Soon we'll be done, summer is fun. When COVID is done, we can all sing a song and dance along. Thank you.
Justin Olson is a fourth grader from Banfield Elementary. Justin chose Mrs. Conway as his inspiration. She inspired him to try poetry because of her love of poems. He has enjoyed his time with her when she shared her favorite poems by Dr. Seuss.
My Silly Billy Goats by Justin Olson. My baby billy goats are really silly. They play all day and night, oh what a sight. They run and think it's fun. They jump and they bump. They play and eat hay. They are not a bore when I chore. They eat corn and have horns. They live in a shed with a straw bed. They take naps on my lap. They are as small as a ball. They are white and brown. You cannot possibly frown. These are my billy goats. Do you think they are silly?
Emma Shaw is a third grader from Banfield Elementary. Emma is inspired by teacher Mrs. Davis. Mrs. Davis inspires her to have good handwriting and to use capital letters. She also inspires her to try hard.
Nature by Emma Shaw. The moon goes down as the sun rises. The birds are calling while the rain is falling. When the sun rises, there are lots of surprises. As the birds start calling, the leaves start falling. When the birds stop calling, the leaves stop falling.
Our next poet is Umar Johnson, a fourth grader from Nevelin Elementary. Uriah is inspired by his dad, Nick. His dad inspires him because he loves to write poems. Uriah enjoys watching him write poems for his mom. He thinks it is a good way to tell people how you feel.
Our Teacher 10-Second Tom by Uriah Johnson. Our teacher 10-Second Tom. He makes us do same math lessons every day. Our teacher 10-Second Tom has 10 seconds. Short-term memory. Poor guy, car accident.
Miro Bang is a fourth grader from Nevelin Elementary. Mira says that her mom and dad inspire her to try new things, like writing poems.
My name is Miro Bang, and this is my poem. COVID-19. Corona stinks just like these masks. Maybe it will stop or maybe it will not. It makes me sick because I can't go places, but I have to deal with it so I don't get sick.
Nadine Perkins is our third finalist from Nevelin Elementary. Nefea wrote her poem for her mom. She is a teacher and she inspires her to write poetry.
My name is Nefea Perkins. I go to Neville Elementary School, and my teacher is Mr. Phillips, and I'm in fourth grade. My poem is called Superhero. Super strong, super fast. You don't have to be any of these things to be a hero. You can help people like a police officer. You can save lives like a doctor. You can be brave like a firefighter. These people don't have powers, yet they save people's lives. They put fear aside and run toward the danger. They put others before themselves. You can be a hero too. All you have to do is be helpful and brave. I think if you worked during the pandemic, you should be thanked. So this is my thanks to you. For helping other people, some people were cautious and didn't want to leave their homes. But other people wanted to go out and help other people. I wrote this poem for my mom, and she is a teacher. She inspired me to write poetry.
Ashlyn Crum is a fourth grader from Southgate Elementary. Ashlyn is inspired by her teacher, Ms. Dickman. Ms. Dickman encourages her to be creative and to write more often.
Winter by Ashlyn Crum. Winter walks in every year with the blooming sky and the crystal clear flakes falling from the air, like fluffy cotton on the ground. Whoosh, a dark cloud starts to form, and small icy chunks start to rush to the ground and shatter. I watch in fear. As the icicles rush down, I feel a rumble in me like thunder. With the trees swaying in the breeze, it makes me feel scared.
Our next poet is Zamacha McManus. He is a fourth grader at Southgate Elementary. He is inspired by his teacher, Mrs. Sims. She inspires him by telling him he's great at poetry and encouraging him to enter the Eberhart Poetry Contest.
Hi, my name is Zamacha McManus. I am in fourth grade and I go to Southgate Elementary. My poem is called Jackie Robinson. He went to UCLA. He graduated in May. He was happy that day. He played with LA. For the Dodgers and Monarchs he played. The baseball would soar. He would play some more. He was judged by his race. Bet that was hard to face. But he did.
Fourth grader Stella Sittanza is the third finalist from Southgate Elementary. She is inspired by her mom, who taught her to say how she feels and believe no matter what.
Rosa Parks was sitting on a bus one day until the cops arrested her and took her away. She boycotted buses to do the right thing. She got others' trust and things started changing. She fought a lot for fairness and equal rights for us. She was very courageous. She said herself, for all people, even fathers and mothers, each person must live their life as a model for others.
Destiny Infante is a fourth grader from Sumner Elementary. She is inspired to write by her grandmother, Alina Lugo. Though she didn't have the chance to meet her, all the stories she has heard about her make her wish she would have.
Upon a star, upon the stars, there you are, watching from above, sending all of your love. Down comes all of your hugs and kisses, then collecting your misses, 'cause there you are upon the stars.
Rosie May is a fourth grader at Sumner Elementary. Her inspiration is her teacher, Ms. Harder. Ms. Harder inspires her because she is always so nice and kind. She says that her class is always happy when her teacher is around.
Fruits. Fruits over here, fruits over there, fruits everywhere. I love watermelons, I love peaches, I love grapes, I love every fruit. Yay, fruits. Fruits all over the world, fruits in my hands, fruits in my planet, fruits in my galaxy. Animals eat fruits, I eat fruits, aliens eat fruits. From everyone in our galaxy eat fruits. They come from trees, they come from ground, they come from everywhere. Yay, fruits. Maybe someday I should know where all the fruits come from. Yay, fruits. But these fruits will be back.
Miley Biserto is a 5th grader at I.J. Holton Intermediate School. Miley is inspired by her 3rd grade teacher, Ms. Benson. Ms. Benson always made reading fun and inspired her to write. In her class was the first time she really enjoyed writing.
You Are So Much More by Miley Biserto. You are so much more. The mirror does not define you. Your hair color, your size, your weight, your skin, your eyes, your clothes. The mirror does not define you. Your personality, your heart, your soul, your goals, your ambition, your strength, your fearlessness. You are more than you appear. Look beyond the mirror.
Kaya McManus is a 6th grader at I.J. Holton Intermediate School. Kaya is inspired by her mother, Karen. She says that her mom always encourages her to do her best, and whenever she writes a poem, she always tells her she did a great job.
Hi, my name is Kaya McManus. I'm a 6th grader at I.J. Holton Intermediate School. My poem is called Behind the Scenes. Behind the scenes is where I meet with all my friends. We go inside, put on costumes tonight. All the outfits shine bright. When we're backstage, all I see is darkness. But deep down inside, there's a pound of excitement. All I hear is whispers and tiptoes. But then I see the stage start to glow. The show has begun. I'm ready to have some fun.
Callie McRae is a 5th grader at I.J. Holton Intermediate School. Callie's mom, Corey, is her inspiration. She inspires her because she always tries her best and never gives up. She is always trying until she gets what she wants and always thinks positive.
Hi, my name is Callie McRae, and this is my poem, We Are Together. We are together, black or white. Separating us is not right. Racial segregation is a harm to all. Make it stop or you will regret this all. Tall or small never mattered at all, but when it comes to black and white, it's a huge fight. People fight and fight to make it all right, but you can see we are all tired of the fight. We are together, black or white. Let's make a change. Let's make it right.
Nadia Hummel is an 8th grader at Ellis Middle School. Nadia is inspired by her robotics coach and 7th grade social studies teacher, Brandon Solar. As well as being an amazing coach and teacher, Mr. Solar was and still is sort of like a friend. He is one of the only teachers I've ever truly been comfortable with. He inspired me to become a poet by helping me through this pandemic when I needed it most, and taught me that even in hard times, to keep good things in mind. He also encourages me to keep working as hard as I can in a struggling environment.
I'm Nadia, and this is my poem, Monster. Please look at me, unto my soul. Please watch and understand. Every breath I take is measured. Every step I take is planned. To hold back this monster from getting out of hand. Don't make a person sad or angry, or he will creep on out, telling you you're evil. Soon your head is full of doubt. Sometimes you can conquer him. Sometimes walk away. Sometimes you cannot leave, and he is there to stay. His darkness then surrounds you, blocks out every light, clawing at your eyes and lungs with no ending near in sight. You try to breathe, your throat stays closed, cutting off your words that only try to help you fight this never-ending curse. You start to shake, your eyes are pools, you just keep suffocating, all the while your heart and blood just keep pulsating. On and on the torment goes, they cannot hear your screams, until the point when he will loosen, you will slightly be at ease. Even then you cannot think that you can be at peace. I know I'm not the only one to try to fight this demon, but now you know the horrors, and now you just might see him. To help save us when we are stuck in this dystopia, from our madness, our monsters, my agoraphobia. Thank you.
7th grader Marlene Osin is a student at Ellis Middle School. Marlene is inspired by her father Jonas and her mother Marie. They have inspired her by being African immigrants. Seeing their emotions about the George Floyd incident opened her eyes. She had an off feeling within her chest that didn't seem to go away. Writing seemed to help her relieve the off feeling.
So I made a brand new version of my poetry, and I decided to read this instead. Yearly Purity by Marlene Osin. Snow, a substance I find rather ethereal and pure. The crisp air fills me with a fuzzy euphoria resting in my skull.
It coats the world of all its malice and venom, coating it in a pure embrace, ridding the world of its malicious deeds. The hatred into the mud seeps, leaving a bittersweet taste on the tongue of the earth. The once tainted roots now soaked with worldly substances, an ethereal awakening of the mind, body, and spirit.
Emma Stanley is an 8th grader at Ellis Middle School. Emma chose 2 teachers as her inspiration, Mrs. Wolski and Mr. Amick. She nominated Mrs. Wolski because she made their poetry unit fun and interesting last year by asking thought-provoking questions that made her think deeply about the meaning behind poetry. She has always encouraged her to keep writing. She nominated Mr. Amick because he always asks her about the books she's reading and lets her borrow his. He has so much cool random knowledge and incorporates literature into his classes. Both of these teachers have been so inspiring to her. Their classes were so interesting and fun, and she learned a lot.
Hi, my name is Emma Stanley, and this is my poem, Rhapsody of a Teenage Mind. You read a poem just yesterday about a dying star. Your mind wanders through this past year, thinking how you have come so far. The world was in ruins, or so it felt, and something deep inside you was screaming to get out. Could it be the faces of adults reading the news? Could it be the ages, not in years, that build and define you? You grow up hearing your parents say to stay a kid as long as possible, because one day time will wash you away, but how is it possible? To be expected to stay young and naive when you are thrown into a different world. That instead of patching up your wounds wants to make them bleed. You see the country split in 2 when you turn on the nightly news. Another riot, a tweet, a message of hate. Thinking to yourself, aren't leaders supposed to be great? And even for a split second in time, if you let the uncertainty consume you, your faith in all of humankind will be the first to leave you. So, the screaming built inside, you turn into fire, to fight against those who are hungry for power. Looking back, you are proud of all you have become. Resilient, strong, to fight against wrong, to fight for what you believe in. All this is good, all this is great, but still you feel regretful. How could the young and so carefree turn into the older and fretful? As the next generation to handle this world, we are taught to grow up fast. But all the things we fought against in the past. Racism, sexism, homophobia. When will all these people learn that the world would be a much better place if we all took our turn every single face? For every wrong deed, there are 2 good that follow. If we act on them, we create a brighter tomorrow. Because in the end, we all bleed red. We all bleed human. Thank you.
Alina Intamtirot is a 12th grader at Austin High School. Alina is inspired by her mom and dad because of all they have done for her. They have taught her so much about herself and who she is. They have also taught her how to express what she feels in a good way and how to love everything in life.
My name is Alina Intamtirot. I'm a senior at Austin High School. The name of my poem is Painless. I want to be painless. I'm living my life as if I was bulletproof. Got all these things on my mind, I know I'm hurting you. Mistakes on rewind, feeling nothing but pain, it's draining. My mama always told me I'ma be here for you, but it's like I go through these phases, want to hit rewind, took everything for granted, now I'm full of wounds. I never tried being so dangerous, and I know sometimes the things that I do, they're fatal. I'm just reaching for grip, I want to be painless. If a 9 shattered my spine, hey, at least I'll be painless. I don't want to feel how I feel, it's like I'm straight up just chasing. People always be bugging, but ain't nobody hit my line. I want to do it for me, want rewards on repeat. Need to stop wasting my time, don't want to have this fire inside. I just want to be painless.
12th grader Keegan Larson attends Austin High School. Keegan is inspired by his mom, Melissa. His mom has always been a supportive and encouraging presence in his life. Without her, he would not have the confidence to share many of the poems he has written over the years.
I'm Keegan Larson. I'm a senior this year at Austin High School, and I'll be reading my poem, Human. When I took my first breath, I was in the shallow water. The tide could not discern my feet from the land. I have forgotten how that felt. As time and curiosity droned on, I found the water above my knees. My feet pressed wet sand below. I could smell the uncertain winds above. Then swimming was taught. Not to me, but my curiosity. It swam until my feet no longer touched the ground. It swam until the land was a line on the horizon. Eventually the motions became old, much like the ocean itself. I only wished to touch the sand again, so I dropped like a rock to the floor. The bottom was quiet and peaceful, as if the tides above no longer existed. I pressed feet into the sand once again, reminisced, and drew my last breath.
Derek Wynn is an 11th grader at Austin High School. Derek is inspired by his aunt, Amy Wynn. He was required to write a poem in 9th grade. When he went to write it, he was with his aunt and uncle. His aunt let him read her poetry and then proofread his 9th grade poem. Her poetry continues to fuel his spark to write poetry.
The voice not heard. This is a message to the boy in the corner. You sit there and wonder, what will life be like today? Will I even be able to get through the day? Will I survive the day? You think, I don't know how that's possible when I can't buy lunch because I cannot pay. You have gone through many a day, wondering if there is a way to just end this pain. But it's not your time. Even though most people won't understand because they can't understand. They can't comprehend the pain of not being able to stand when you get kicked down time and time again. But I do. I understand. I've been where you're at. I've worn your hat. I've seen through your eyes. I may have even passed you by. And I'm here now to tell you that you can get through this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It is a dark, dark tunnel, but there is a light. And when you reach that light, your heart will feel light. So I'm telling you now, keep your head up, make sure you stand up, and don't ever give up.
Congratulations to these students for being selected as finalists in our competition. Each one of you did such a wonderful job expressing yourselves through poetry. All our finalists will be receiving several items: a certificate that includes your poem, a program that lists all the finalists and their inspirations, and a poetry book donated by the Friends of the Library. This event is a partnership between several people and organizations. I want to acknowledge the partnership of the following: the family of Richard Eberhardt, creators of the Eberhardt Endowment; Barb Sperling, Administrative Assistant for Educational Services at Austin Public Schools; the Austin Public Education Foundation, the organization that manages the Eberhardt Endowment; the AHS Language Arts Department for judging the poems; Bethy Carlton and the Friends of the Library for co-sponsoring this event and supplying our book prizes; Ryan Mayers for creating this virtual celebration. Our judges read all the poems and selected this group of 21 as our finalists. I will now announce the winner from each of the buildings. These winners will receive a cash prize in addition to the certificate, program, and poetry book. The prizes will be delivered to each school on Thursday, April 22nd and Friday, April 23rd. From Woodson Kindergarten Center, Claire Green. From Bamfield Elementary School, Emma Shaw. From Nevelin Elementary School, Uriah Johnson. From Southgate Elementary School, Stella Sittanza. From Sumner Elementary School, Destiny Infante. From I.J. Holton Intermediate School, Miley Biserto. From Ellis Middle School, Nadia Hummel. From Austin High School, Alina Intomtirat. Thank you for joining us for this virtual celebration of poetry.